So just like the amount of versions of standard forms that we have, there's many ways to talk about the solutions of a quadratic equation. So sometimes we say if x equals r is a solution, we'll refer to it as that. Or sometimes we call it a root of the equation when you set it equal to 0. Then r comma 0 would be an x-intercept of that equation. Or you could write it as x minus r, which would be a factor of your original equation. Or another thing you can say is that r is a 0 of f of x. So when you set the original equation equal to 0, it will be r. So as a little story problem here, we have a baseball player hits the ball, and the path of the ball can be described by the equation f of x equals negative 16x squared plus 70x plus 3. You might remember this from last year. It's very similar to the height equation. So x equals time in this case, and the f of x is the height of the ball. So if that's what those two variables stand for, then what is the y-intercept for this equation, and what does it represent? We know that the y-intercept is 3 from our earlier discussions. And what does it represent? It represents the height of the ball when it was hit. Or if you remember from last year, it would be the initial height. And so if we want to figure out after how many seconds does the ball reach its maximum height, we know from looking at the graph, or from the equation, that the graph is going to be an upside down parabola. So if we find the vertex, that should be the maximum. So if we use our vertex formula, that's going to be negative b, which is 70, divided by 2 times negative 16. So basically you need to do negative 70 divided by negative 32, and I got 2.1875. And so that's going to be in seconds. If you want to fill it in the blank up here, you can. And then if we want to find what the maximum height of the ball was, we need to find f of the 2.1875. So do negative 16 times 2.1875 squared plus 70 times 2.1875 plus 3. So when you work that out, you should get 79.5625, and again, that's in feet. And then in the last question is, how long does it take the ball to reach the ground? So if you graph this, we are looking for this value over here, so that would be when it equals 0. So when 0 equals negative 16x squared plus 70x plus 3. So you can use your quadratic formula to solve for this. I do not believe this equation factors. So negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2a. And so of course you're going to get two answers from this. There's also this answer back here, but that's negative times. That doesn't make sense. So the one that works is 4.417 seconds.